Welcome back to another recce trek video. I haven't got much light left on my evening hike, but I'm basically just going to quickly take you through these and show you what they are, how to use them, and how they would assist you in navigating. The first thing you need to know before you can use these pacing beads is your pace, your steps in relation to 100 meters. So the way you do that is you need to find a flat piece of ground and you need to measure out 100 meters or use something that you know is 100 meters, i.e. a football pitch, and you just walk that 100 meters and you count every left step. So for instance, let's just say I'm walking 100 meters now. Yeah, I've measured it out, I know that that's 100 meters, so I'm going to walk it just to see how many steps there is within 100 meters. It needs to be on flat ground with no kit on your back, ideally, because that will give you sort of the base level pacing and steps. All right, and all you do is literally just go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to the point of where you reach your 100 meter mark. Yeah, and in my case that's about 68 steps. So I know that 68 steps is 100 meters for me on flat ground wearing no kit. So now that you know that, now you know how many of your steps are within 100 meters, you can use this effectively. Okay, these are your pacing beads. It's a piece of paracord with beads on it, which are dissected up by several different knots. All right, some of the knots just create loops so that you can tie it onto your piece of kit. Yeah, you loop them in and tie it on. Typically it goes on to one of your straps on your rucksack. Yeah, it's good to have it somewhere to hand. All right, so most people, you'll see them with pacing beads somewhere up here. Yeah, that's where I keep mine, up here, just so they're easy to use. So the other knots on here are dissecting the beads themselves, yeah, and hold them in place. And as you can see, there's 4 beads at the top, yeah, and there's 9 beads at the bottom. 9 beads at the bottom denote 100 meters per bead. So going back to what we were just doing then with our steps and pacing out 100 meters, you know, so I now know, for example, that it's 68 steps for me to be 100 meters, 68 steps per 100 meters. So when I'm walking along, yeah, and I want to keep track of my distance, because A, it'll give you a bit of reassurance when navigating, or B, and B, shall I say, it will actually assist you and aid you in navigating, and I'll show you how in a bit. But you'll be walking along, yeah, and you'll be going up 1, 2, 3, 4, counting your steps, and as you get to, which in my case is 68 steps to 100 meters, as I get up to 68, I'll be 66, 67, 68, I'll just pull down on one of these beads. Yeah, so now I know and I can remember that I've done 100 meters, and it's all the way up. So I go, right, I've got another 100 meters to go. Boom, 200 meters, 300 meters, all the way up to 900 if I need to be. Okay. And you just reset them by putting them back to the top. So that's how you use these bottom beads. Yeah, each bead is per 100 meters. Then you got above the knot, there's just 4 beads on their own. They are kilometers, where they denote kilometers. So every time that you've banged out 900 meters, by the time you've done 100 meters again, that's 1 kilometer. That's 2 kilometers. Yeah. Typically, I never use the top 4 beads. I only use probably the bottom 5 or 6 beads on the bottom strand, because I tend to only do legs of 500 to 600 meters, nothing more than, without doing a nav check. So I typically only use the bottom sort of few beads if I need to use them. I don't tend to use them that much. Maybe I don't use them often enough. Okay, so that is the pacing beads. All right, and it goes wherever you feel is best. But for me, and most people would put them somewhere up here on the strap so they can just use them nice and easily. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use them in conjunction with a map. There's a couple different methods you can use for measuring distance on the map. The first one that I'm going to tell you about is probably used not out on the ground, but mainly in your map recce and planning your routes prior to going out. You could do it out on the ground, but I never have done. I've always done it prior to going out, and the way you do that I'll have to show you in a clip. So, but you just use the edge of a bit of paper and pen. I'll show you that now in the next clip.
Okay, so the first thing you need to know when measuring distance on your map using this method is the scale. Yeah, at the bottom of your map there is a scale. Yeah, this is a 1 in 25,000 scale map, and here's your scale along the bottom. Well, on the scale at the bottom of the map then, the top line and the numbers across the top of that line denote meters and kilometers, and then the line on the bottom, yeah, that denotes your feet and miles. Now I tend to work in meters and kilometers, so I'll be using the top line, the top scale. Okay, now as you can see, your zero starts from here, right, and it's got a few notches going back that way to 1,000 meters. Yeah, and the same is for the bottom in feet, but like I say, I'm going to use meters for this. So you've got your zero, which is your start mark there. All right, and you can do kilometers from the zero mark to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 5. That's your kilometers. Yeah, and then you can break it down smaller, but you need to go left. So from the zero down. So you got 100 meters, 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters, all the way up to a kilometer. Okay, now that will come more apparent in the next phase. So let's say I want to start from here. Yeah, this byway where it breaks off to the left hand side onto a bridle path, and it goes across country, across open land, yeah, up this small hill, all the way to this road called Sandy Way. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, so I'll go through it again. I'm going to break off this byway, go along this bridle path, all the way across this open ground, up the hill, all the way to this road called Sandy Ways. At the top there, we're not going to take this right track, we're going to go left, like so. All right, but we want to know the distance of that, and we want an accurate measurement. We don't want to go as the crow flies straight. We just want to go, we want to know the distance as per the bridle path, right? And the way you would do that is you'd get your blank piece of paper, right, and your start point would be the corner of the piece of paper, and you would put that on your start point of your journey, right, and you would line it up with the route which you'd like to take, and the first point of directional change, you'll put your pen and you'll pivot the paper round until it lines up with your route. Yep, you'd follow that to the next directional change and put your pen on the edge of the paper again. Put a nice mark on it so you know, just in case you lose, in case your paper slips or whatever, you don't have to start again. Right. Then you just repeat this process all the way up, basically. Yeah, every time there's a direction change, make a little notch in the paper, pivot the paper on the pen so that it marries up with your route all the way up. Get in there, bear with me. Okay, and now we're at the final destination, which is here. And just do a bigger line, put a little mark next to it so you know that's your end state. So now on the camera, if you can see it, you've got from the corner, which is your start point, and all the way up to your finish point. Okay, now you go to your scale at the bottom of the map. Got my scale, and remember you start on 0. Right, and I'll get my start point of my piece of paper, which was the corner, and I'll put that on the 0. Now I can see there's a kilometre there, right? That's where 1 kilometre is. So I'm just going to put a mark there and put 1k. So that's my 1 kilometre mark. Now, as you can see, there's still a few distances to go, a few notches before my end state, but it's not quite a kilometre. You can see that on the scale. So in order to get an accurate measurement of that in meters, you now go back to, you take this 1 kilometre sign, you take that now to the 0. Yeah, all the way to there. So your end destination is at 0. And you go from where you know the kilometre is, and you count how many meters are left. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So you know that next section is 400 meters. Okay, so your your total distance then is 1.4 kilometers. So the distance, your distance from this point to that point, following the bridle path, you know, is 1.4 kilometers, 1,400 meters.
Okay, so that's how you would measure distance on the map using a pen and paper. I hope that makes sense. Decent. Okay, so I'm just about going to woodblock now with a setting sun, so I'm losing light. Hopefully I can still show you and teach you as I go. Tricky. That one there. Okay, so the second way that you can measure distance on a map is by using the, so I just put up, I thought someone's probably wild camping in that pillbox. Anyway, the second way that you can do that, I feel like there's people camping out in it, you know. Fuck it, they probably think I'm some sort of weirdo talking to the camera anyway, which I am. Right, okay, so as I was saying, the second way of measuring distance on a map is by using the outside edge, or the scale should I say, on the compass, and that's relevant to the scale of map you're using. Typically, or what you should be doing, is using a 1 in 25,000 map when out and about walking on foot. 1 in 50,000 is not as much detail, and the higher the scale maps, the less detail. So really, when you're walking about, you want to be using a 1 in 25,000 map. So you'd use a 1 in 25,000 scale on your compass, and I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so the first thing you need to do, as always, is orientate your map to the ground. Alright, that's my map orientated to the ground. If you're not sure what I'm talking about there, I have done other videos, which I've put links in my top right hand corner now. I'm showing you exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to orientating your map in the ground, and other map reading skills. Okay, so we're using a 1 in 25,000 scale map, yeah, which means we're going to be using the outside edge on the compass. Yeah, because that's a 1 in 25,000 scale on the outside of the compass. You've got the 1 in 50,000 and then the 1 in 63,360 in the middle there, which I've never used. Okay, so 1 in 25,000 scale map with a 1 in 25,000 scale on the outside of your compass. My bag just went AWOL. So what we need to do is establish where we are, and we are on this track here. Okay, we're just on this track here. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Alright, and for the purpose of the video I have just pasted it out, alright, but so that I can demonstrate it properly. But all we need to do now, I'm on that bend, yeah? I'm on, I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but there's a bend in the track. Alright, and I'm on that bend. And I want to get, so with that bend on that track, yeah, I want to get to here. Yeah, it's a little road, a junction with a little building here. So I put the scale on there, and it's 100 meters. Yeah, the scales on this map, it's not the best demonstration, I know, but the scale on this map, look, on this compass, sorry, they go up in 50s. So it's 50, 100, 150, 200, all the way up to 1400. Okay, and I can see there that I'm on the edge of that track. Yeah, I'm about there on the edge of that track. I hope you can see it on the camera. And I want to get to the end of the track where it meets like a square road with a building next to it. I don't know if you can see it on the map, it's not ideal. Yeah, but it's about 100 meters away. So now I'm just going to show you how that works in the real world. I should have really recce'd this before doing it. But hopefully you get the gist. Okay, because it's not the best location or time of day to be doing this. But here we go. So I know it's about 100 meters now to where this track meets another road, and there should be a building on the right hand side when I get to it. So we're going to pace it out now. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68. Okay, and as you can see, I've walked 68 steps. Now for me, I know that's when I've reached 100 meters. Now that I've reached my 100 meter mark, I'll simply just pull down one bead, yeah, and that will remind me and help me keep track of the fact that I've covered 100 meters. And you would do that, you could do that on longer legs, all the way up to 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 900 meters if you want, and then go to a kilometer. But I wouldn't recommend doing any legs longer than about 600 meters. And you just reset the beads when you want to start your leg again. All right, I hope that's made sense. It was kind of a spur of the moment tutorial video showing you how to use these beads. I was out and about anyway, shoot another video. I thought, well, I've got the pacing beads on, I'll just quickly show you guys how to use them. But really, I should have picked a better time of the day to do it, because I'm losing light rapidly and you probably can't see nothing but my mouth moving in the dark. And it wasn't the best location to show you, I'm aware, but I just hope that you got the gist of how to use pacing beads in conjunction with map reading and how they would assist you in navigating. If you think that tutorial video was a load of rubbish, a load of waffle, and you'd like me to explain it in a bit more detail or explain it in a clearer way, let me know in the comments and I'll prepare a more well planned tutorial video for you. I just thought I'd do it on the spur of the moment as I was out. Thought, oh yeah, got my pacing beads on. Thought I'd show you guys how to use them. But if that video didn't help and you think it's a load of crap, let me know, which I'm sure you will, and I'll do another one and try and make it a little bit clearer. But yeah, that's the gist of it. That's how you use pacing beads. Bit of a summary before the sun really goes down. First thing you need to know when using, if you want to use pacing beads, or first thing you should really know anyway for navigating, is your pace and your steps. So how many steps is it per 100 meters? Go out there to somewhere that you know is 100 meters long, or measure out 100 meters and pace it. Just count on every left step until you get to 100 meters, and that will give you a step. Preferably you need to do that on flat ground, wearing no kit. That will give you sort of like a base level. I know for me, wearing no kit, walking on flat ground, it's 68 steps for 100 meters. Okay, once you've got that, then you need to know how to use, or how to measure distance on a map. Yeah, there's two ways you can do that, or two ways that I know. Let me know if there's any other ways, by the way, in the comments. But the two ways that I know is by the edge of the paper on the map with a pen, which I've shown you in a clip, and the other way is by using the edge of the compass, the scale on the compass, yeah, and measuring it like that. Don't measure as a crow flies, measure it accurately as possible. Yeah, once you know how to measure distance on a map, then you can use all of it in conjunction with each other. Yeah, and like I said, 100 meters, 200 meters, 300 meters, all the way up to 9. Yeah, that's your bottom 9 beads, and the top few beads are your kilometers. 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer, 3 kilometer. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. That's the gist of it. Let me know what you think in the comments, which I'm sure you will, if you think it's a load of crap. Alright, and I'll try and think of other stuff to ramble on about and waffle on and go out in the wild and talk to myself on camera if people look at me thinking I'm a weirdo. See you next time. Cheers.